All right, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Chuck Trice, and I've been selling real estate, all different kinds, since 1978. I took my first exchange class of 40 hours in about 1977 or 79. And I thought that was just a tremendous way to do business. I'm also a CCIM, Certified Investment Member, and Equity Marketing Specialist with National Council of Exchangers. I'm from Montrose, Colorado, which is central Colorado, about 250 miles southwest of Denver.
So, what's the difference between exchanging or equity marketing and the more standard form of real estate?
Okay, there's a tremendous difference between just traditional real estate where you go sell something, you go get a loan, and you finance it, and the deal is done. I mean, that's just one way of doing business, and there's over 300 ways to buy, sell, and trade real estate. And my question has been for 30 years is, if there's 300 ways, why would you stop at one? Because our goal and what we're obligated to do, as my friend Blake says, is serve the customer. And you can't serve the customer very well with one option when you've got 300 options or more in your tool bag. Whether they say yes or no is not up to the agent, it's up to the owner of the property or the buyer. You let them say yes or no, because you're offering them options that they don't get anywhere else. And these options and ideas and formulas are things that's been tried and true and tested, and people that are in the industry have used them for years. So why stop at one transaction or way to do a deal when you've got 300 or more ways? If you're doing like what we do, which is investment property, then the benefits could be many. Cash flow, tax deferment, increase your basis, trade one property that's not performing for another property, and not pay the tax until you go on down the road. So there's just lots of benefits that you would never think of when you're not doing traditional real estate. Traditional real estate is one way of doing business, and that's to buy and sell and go to the bank and rent their money. Why do I think exchanging or equity marketing or creative financing is not popular? I think it's purely lack of education on the part of the agent. And our state associations, they don't teach more than one way to do a transaction. Their goal is to get a real estate license, and you can go sell real estate, and then it's up to the brokers to teach the agents, and the agents hardly ever get the opportunity to learn equity marketing or creative financing. And I think that's the major thing. In fact, I know that clients understand it quickly, and real estate agents, once they're geared into that one mode of doing business, it's kind of hard to get out of that mode. I choose to deal in this type of exchanging and trading and financing and creating your own notes. To me, the whole operation of doing a transaction is just fascinating. I mean, anybody can go to a bank and apply for a loan and probably get a loan. But when you start trying to solve a problem with the client, or the client has a financial problem, a tax problem, or a job-related problem, or a family problem, then creative real estate is the way to solve that problem. And that's what we're trying to do as agents, is we serve the client and we try to get them the best deal possible, not the highest deal possible, but the best deal that solves their problem, situation, or their desire.
Do you feel like it's more of a communal form of brokering or dealing with trade or with exchanging and with real estate?
Well, we all work together because we know each other, and we respect each other. If you're out in just the regular real estate market, you probably know the agents that's in your area. but the agents in your area are not trained in the expertise that you have as an exchanger or creative marketing specialist. And so, yeah, we seem kind of closed in the group because there's only a few of us in every market that understand creative financing and equity marketing. One of the great things about creative marketing is that if you need a problem or a solution, you can go to other members of the group and probably find that solution. If you need a loan, if you need a hard money loan, if you need to create paper, or you need to do some other creative thing, take land that's in another state to solve your equity problem, then yeah, we work together and we pretty well know what the other agent can and will do. There's one thing in all types of marketing, whether you're retail or wholesale, or even in what you do as a filmmaker, if people like you and know you and trust you, they will do business with you. But if they don't, and you might have a great product, but if you don't know the individuals or present it well, then you'll never get a deal done.
Can you explain what a formula is, and could you give me an example of one?
Well, a formula is, of course, like we learned in school, is 2 + 2 = 4. And so that's just a very basic, simple formula, but formulas can get complicated as we know. But a very simple formula in real estate, like 2 + 2 = 4, is land plus cash can equal the purchase price of a piece of property. Land plus a note can equal purchase price. Land plus a motorhome plus 50,000 cash plus a note, plus will equal the purchase price or the down payment. And so, as my friend Blake says, we can create a note. We can be our own bank. We can figure this stuff out, and we use formulas because formulas work in almost every situation. And you can vary a formula. You can change some of the numbers around, whether it's a minus or a plus or an addition. You can change those numbers and come up with a formula that will work.
All right, and final question. Is there a memorable deal that you've made that you felt was creative or was very rewarding, other than just the amount of money you made?
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing. One of my best deals that I think I've ever done is a friend of mine had an office building, and he was having trouble keeping it full. And so his cash flow problem was negative. He had a big negative going out every month, and he was concerned about that because of his 3 partners, and one of them was ill. So, the cash flow was down, the leasing ability was down. So my client offered to buy his building for I think it was $750,000, but my client owned a 5-acre tract of land that he wanted to use as a down payment. And the owner of the building didn't want the land. And so the deal didn't go anywhere. And so about a year later, this guy came back with his building. Price was the same, my land was the same, and he says, if I could get cash for the balance of the property, I would take that piece of land. And so we used that land. The value was about $125,000. We traded that land and cash for that building. And my client went in and remodeled the building, filled it up, and leased it. The owner of the building that was the previous owner got like $500,000 or $600,000 cash and a $125,000 piece of land. And he still owns that piece of land today. And he is very happy because what the benefit was to him is we solved his negative cash flow, which was over $3,000 a month. So we solved that negative cash flow, and that was the benefit to him of a creative deal. And the creative deal on my client's side of the property was that he had a piece of land that he would never use again, a nice piece of land, 5 acres, irrigated, and so he got to trade that at full value as a down payment, and he could come up with the rest of cash from a bank. So it worked very well for both parties.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, let's just keep learning and growing and doing the deals and helping the clients. That's about all I know.